Hey, everybody, it's Dr. Mo Anderson. Listen, have you ever heard that saying, joy comes in the morning? Like it just comes. You wake up and there's somebody by your bed with a tray of joy. Not really. It doesn't quite happen like that. Peace may come in the morning, but joy, you need to plan for. You need to manage your happiness. It takes a management plan, as in like project management with parts and pieces and processes. We have to have a strategic plan for fun. You have to plan fun. If you're sitting at home all the time, bored, no one's inviting you anywhere, that's because you're not actively planning for fun. And also, sometimes as part of that wellness happiness plan, we have to love from a distance. Love from a distance if the alternative is spiritual anorexia and slow but certain death every single holiday. Welcome to Perpetual Motion with Dr. Mo Anderson, where my goal is to help you stress less, produce more, and love the ones you're with. We talk about wellness, relationships. We talk about communication and culture. Sometimes they're interviews and sometimes it's a solo show like today. Today, I'm doing a bit of a throwback to an excerpt from my audiobook, Success is a Side Effect. Let me get that right. Success is a side effect of your actions. And we're going to talk about humor therapy, actions over idle threats, and why habit is stronger than reason. So keep listening.
You can't say Dr. Mo ain't tell ya that fear magnifies the consequences of failure. What are you scared of? Why are you afraid? I'd rather live like I'm dying than live to die. Any day my heart is pure, my soul is safe.
Rose-colored glasses are never made in bifocals. Nobody wants to read the small print in dreams, said Ann Landers. The women who are the healthiest and have the most spiritual wealth have multiple sources of happiness: family, work, hobbies, community involvement, a sense of adventure, and the ability to find humor in even the direst situation. Life is too precious to worry yourself to death. Scientists have presented research suggesting that laughter may be a buffer against disease. Here are a few of the medical benefits of laughter. Relaxes the body while simultaneously exercising stomach and facial muscles. Reduces blood pressure and heart rate. Releases endorphins, the body's natural painkiller. Improves circulation and breathing, providing more oxygen to the body. With more blood to the brain, you think better and your memory improves. Boosts the immune system in order for your body to better fight infection. Humor and optimism are indispensable. Today, begin managing your happiness as deliberately as you manage your business affairs. Develop a plan for living happily before a chronically negative, pessimistic attitude consumes your soul. Change will come. Actively seek it instead of passively awaiting the results of chaos. You do have a choice. Norman Cousins, the longtime editor of the Saturday Review, is known as the man who laughed his way to good health. In the 1960s, he was diagnosed with a life-threatening collagen disease that slowly paralyzes the body. His physicians told him that death was inevitable. Cousins refused to accept the bad prognosis. He refused to let the limits of science and medicine become the limits of his faith. Against the advice of his doctors, Cousins left the hospital. With the help of friends and family, he started a radical new therapy that he designed himself. It included a nutritional program with high doses of vitamin C, and equally important, it included even higher doses of humor. He watched funny programs like the Marx Brothers and Candid Camera. A nurse read him funny stories every day. He did anything he could to make himself laugh. We now refer to this as humor therapy. And we all feel better after a good laugh, don't we? That's why comedic films and sitcoms continue to top the Nielsen ratings for viewership in every demographic. In time, Cousins got better. He said the genuine laughter relieved his pain. Slowly but surely, he regained the use of his limbs. Eventually, he returned to work full time. In 1979, he wrote Anatomy of an Illness, a best-selling book about his experience. He credited his recovery from that disease and years later, his recovery from a massive heart attack to his healthy diet plus his optimistic attitude. Most certainly, I am not suggesting that anyone ever stop using a prescription medication or go against a physician's advice. However, I am convinced that a positive outlook is beneficial to our health. Certainly, there are challenges in every life. Before you can see the silver lining, there's usually a dark cloud. The Bible refers to these challenges as seasons in the book of Ecclesiastes. These seasons include not only a time to weep, but also a time to laugh and a time to dance. Sometimes obstacles come in the form of the people around you, and sometimes they come from perfect strangers who seem intent on making your life a nightmare. For example, I made a simple phone call the other day. As usual, I was placed on hold immediately by an automated voice that said, "Thank you for your patience. Someone from customer service will be with you before the next millennium." An hour later, I was thinking, I can't hang up. I've invested too much time into this call. If I hang up, I'll lose my place in the infinitely long line of people waiting to speak to a human being. Any human being at this company. Thank goodness for mobile phones. I was able to purchase groceries, fill my car with gas, cook a 14-course meal, and clean up the kitchen while waiting for a customer service representative. See, it all started innocently enough. While reviewing my credit card statement, I found an item that I had a question about. A simple question. So I dialed the toll-free service number under the illusion that I could resolve the matter in a few minutes. Instead, I got this. "Thank you for calling Bank of Eternity. For faster service, please have your account number available." Okay, got it right here? No problem. For account information or service, press 1. To apply for a new account, press 2. To hear an oral reading of volumes 1 and 2 of the Encyclopedia Britannica while you wait, press 3. That's a nice attempt at humor, I thought. Little did I realize they were serious. So I pressed 1. Then I heard, "Please enter your 20-digit account number followed by the pound key within the next 10 seconds. It took me 5 attempts to accomplish that feat within the time limit. I was disconnected twice in the meantime. After that, I received more instructions. "Please enter the last 2 digits of your mother's weight on her 18th birthday, followed by the pound key." I clicked over, called my mom, verified the information, hung up with my mom, and entered the 2 digits. I kept thinking at any moment they were going to ask me to slay a dragon to prove that I actually deserved to speak to a customer service representative. Finally, there appeared a light at the end of the tunnel when I heard the automated voice say, "Please hold while we connect you to an account representative." 2 days later, I finally heard a real voice. "Thank you for waiting. This is Tammy. May I have your account number?" "But, Tammy, I just entered my account number 5 times. Didn't your computer save it or something?" Tammy sighed. "Well, ma'am, our computers have been down most of the day, so that information didn't transfer. May I please have your account number, your telephone number, and your home address?" "But, Tammy, when I applied for the card, I gave a deposition on everything there is to know about me. I even sent you a vial of blood with the 14 certified copies of my birth certificate. Isn't that account number linked to my account information?" "Ma'am, I just work here. There are 2 of us left since they downsized the department. We share a single computer and it's 10 years old. Jean takes care of 25 states and I handle the others. I'm sure all your information is in the computer somewhere, but I could carve it up in stone faster than I can pull it up." Fine. I gave her all of my information again and waited some more while she went to lunch. When she came back from lunch, she asked me, "What was your question, ma'am?" By now, I could hardly remember my question. "Well, there's a 7-cent charge on my card for some kind of phone or internet service. I've never heard of this company. Can you please tell me anything about these charges?" "Ma'am, you'll have to call the company for that information." "What company is it? All I have here are some initials." "I understand, ma'am. I'd like to help you, but unfortunately, I just noticed you live in Texas." "And?" "Ma'am, that's Jean's area. I'll have to transfer you. Please hold." Don't tell him your plans. Overia Clinton lay in her claw-footed bed, advanced in wisdom and allergic to social grace. Though beloved by her friends and family, their visits with her were hurried and made out of duty, not desire. Her mind seemed to aimlessly bounce from decade to decade, recounting events while everybody repeatedly glanced at their cell phones, hoping they would ring. Then one Sunday, Averia dropped a verbal bomb. She stared at her visitors, 2 ladies who were nearer to the world than the quilt on Overia's bed, and said, "Don't ever tell a man what you're gonna do. Just do it." She added that threatening to leave a relationship when someone mistreats you is a waste of time and breath. Her rule was simple. Don't keep telling him you're going to leave. Girls, leave. Don't ever tell a man what you're going to do. Just do it. The women scooted to the edge of their chairs like little girls on their first day of music lessons. They remembered Overia's husband, their great uncle, who was handsome, kind, and a fun companion. Being married and having a partner who fully commits till death do us part, about 60 years in Overia's case, was an abstract concept to them. How did she do it? They wanted to know. Overia replied that her methodology was simple. She said to keep peace in her home, she kept him fed, made him feel respected, and she didn't ever allow boredom into the bedroom. She said it much more graphically, but you get the picture. Lastly, she advised when problems do arise, you must know how to draw the line. On one side of the line are words, on the other side, action. Many of us have difficulty embracing the simple concept that sometimes actions are the only answer. Our impulse is to talk and overanalyze. Why won't he commit to the relationship? The same reason he didn't commit to his last two girlfriends. Why did he blow a hole in our savings account? Again, he does it every hunting season, remember? Why does he put his friends' needs before mine? He was doing that before you moved in. Hello? In 1920, George Santayana wrote an essay titled, What People Will Put Up With. The following delicious sentence always stuck with me. Habit is stronger than reason, and the respect for fact stronger than the respect for the ideal. Wow. Habit is stronger than reason? So despite the best intentions, we revert to old habits unless we consciously force ourselves to act in new ways until they become habitual. If someone in a relationship injures you emotionally or physically over and over, it doesn't matter how badly the person feels about it, nor does it matter that he or she recognizes the problem. Talking will not change his or her destructive habit. That's why the nagging and late night lectures are not working. Both of you must take action to bring about change. We all know well-meaning parents who yell and threaten, but never do anything, so their children continue to misbehave. If a 3-year-old recognizes an idle threat, you can be sure a 30-year-old does as well. What keeps us talking rather than acting? It's learned behavior. Standing your ground could lead to a big argument, and who knows what might happen. You might get called an ugly name, right? Or if we press too hard, our lover might leave and we'll be all alone again. So we keep talking in circles and getting the same unsatisfying result. Don't make excuses, make changes. Which brings us back to old Oliveria's line in the sand. The ability to love herself, her truth, and her right to be treated with dignity gave her the strength to act. She thought of herself as a beautiful, desirable woman, and if her husband failed to appreciate her, she believed someone else would. Uncle Clinton knew she loved him, and she didn't want to leave. In fact, it would be her last resort. But if necessary, she was not afraid to change her life and his. Compare the following statements. A. I'm going to tell him our 6-year engagement is off, and I bet he will finally set a wedding date. B. I'm giving the ring back and breaking our 6-year engagement tonight. Whatever happens, happens. Statement A is a threat and an attempt at manipulation. Statement B is taking charge of your future and being willing to accept the consequences. Sometimes we must love from a distance rather than be destroyed up close. Let me be clear. I hate ending committed relationships. No one should ever come to that point in his or her relationship. I know firsthand the devastating impact of terminating a marriage. Part of the healing process for me was spending a lot of time understanding the role I played in what happened. Because really the only person we can change is ourselves, right? If you haven't read the book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, now is the time. It is my favorite go-to for understanding how to express my needs in all of my relationships, meaning with family, friends, or whomever. Chapman gives great advice and specific language for getting things back on track. So what if you've tried everything and nothing seems to work? When you love someone, it's hard to let go, even when you know you should. If the person genuinely loves you back, there is always a chance for forgiveness and reconciliation later on terms that are mutually beneficial. Until then, you may have to love him or her at arm's length. This may be the hardest challenge, but that action, loving from a distance rather than being destroyed up close, might be the only way to save yourself from spiritual or physical death. Action is strong medicine for sure. And as with any powerful tonic, if it does not kill your relationship, it just might make it healthier.